I had a teacher who used to text my phone while I was in 4th grade. I'm 20 now. Some people might think this is weird, but at the time I loved it and she was my favorite teacher. I used to stay and talk to her at recess time, and any other time I had a chance I would hang out with her at school. I was really attached to her. I got my first flip phone when I was 10. I can't remember how we got each other's phone number, but we would casually text outside of school. It was never anything of sexual nature or anything like that, literally just joking around and checking in on each other. Sometimes even late at night. Sometimes I would stay with her after school and she would drive me home even though my house was like a block away. My parents knew about it, but they didn't seem to be too worried. The teacher really liked me too. I almost think I was like the daughter she never had. I remember one time she had to remind other students that I wasn't her favorite and she liked everyone equally. I think everyone knew I was her favorite. One random day, my teacher told me that we should delete each other's number, and it broke my heart.
My mother bathed me until I was 15 and it haunts me. I've never spoken to anyone about this, so I don't know how other people will view it, but I was extremely sheltered and babied my entire life. My mother and father broke up at a very young age but still lived together until I was around 10. So I never learned how to sleep alone until I was 11, since my mom didn't want to sleep with my dad and we didn't have enough bedrooms in the house. I feel sick typing this out, but apparently we used to spoon each other, but until like a few days ago I thought it was just hugging. And I'm sure there was no sexual intent behind it. But everywhere I read it's apparently a sexual act. I also ended up crying myself to sleep every night as a kid. I don't know why, and I only learnt this wasn't normal when I was older. It might have been because I kept moving around and my mom would yell at me when I couldn't sleep. All of this, amongst other stuff, ended up causing me to become incredibly dependent, and as such it left me not able to take care of myself at all. I was never taught to do many basic tasks, including bathing myself. In fact, the thing that led me to finally bathing on my own is starting to cut myself so that I could take baths alone. I don't know why I couldn't just ask. I guess it was something that happened my whole life, so I felt too awkward to stand my ground. This shit genuinely doesn't leave my mind, the idea that I was and still am to an extent so dependent on my mother. Trust me, I love her, and she's a better mother now than when I was growing up, but at the same time in a way I resent her for not teaching me anything. As it's led to a lot of embarrassing situation in life to the point of contemplating suicide. I hate this.
My mother may have poisoned me as a child, but I can't be sure. Content warning, possible child abuse. I have a childhood memory that always seemed fishy, but it didn't strike me until recently how fucked up it may have been. I'm a child of an ugly divorce. I have a vague memory from back when the divorce was at its messiest and I was probably around 7 to 9 years old. My mother told me I was sick and gave me medicine. The medicine was a bunch of small white pellets that she poured into applesauce to make them palatable. The thing is, I think I recall finding it strange because I hadn't gone to the doctor recently and I didn't feel sick. Later on, I asked for more of the medicine just as a ploy to get more applesauce, and I remember my mother getting awkward and saying no. Years later, my dad implied that she had made some wild claims in court to try to get custody. But I don't know what my mother had claimed. Maybe that he had poisoned me, after doing so herself? It wouldn't have been the last awful thing she did to me. I guess what I really need to know is if other people here remember having similar medicine as kids around the year 2000 or gave such medicine to their kids. Maybe I'm worked up over nothing. But every few months I just get sick to my stomach and on the verge of tears, overwhelmed by the thought that I may have been fed rat poison by my own mother.
I have a childhood trauma that only one person knows about to this day. So I'm a woman, and throughout my adult life I realized that I was harassed by a much older person, my godfather's brother. He captivated me by touching private parts. I was under 14 at the time. I don't remember exactly. It was in a cafe and he instigated me and piqued my curiosity. I don't know why my memory years later seems to have erased this for a few years today, at 27 and a few years earlier. I remembered exactly what happened. I've been a lesbian since I was 5-6 years old. I've always found girls funny and I've always been sure about wanting to be with a woman. But I don't know to what extent this conditioned me not being bisexual because I look at the male side with disgust. I only told this to one person in my life, an ex-girlfriend, and we had kind of broken up because I was suffering from depression, the relationship was bad, and these memories were coming back.
Can I be normal anymore? Because my mental health is continuously going down. Hi, I'm 30M. I was a very nice kid. I was quite afraid of sleeping alone until I was 16, also had nocturnal enuresis till 20. As per my ma'am, I was nicer till 2019. She basically mean to say post-pandemic I became another person. My observation for anything major in pandemic was that I've been friend with a guy. Never felt in my entire life any friendship that much caring, masterful and cherish. In short, I was very happy. In March, my friends GF came for visit and stayed due to lockdown, and the show began from there only. In beginning, she doesn't had any issue with me. We were good like as mutual friends should be. One day she had spat with his boyfriend, and he's my childhood friend, so basically I was just want to tease him. She said, let's go for a ride. I asked my friend, he said, okay. Then said, let's go, and gave my friend wicked sunny smile. But after coming home from that time onwards, my friend's behavior flipped drastically. He tried to show muscle around in whole flat, showing authoritarian behavior, ordering do this and do that. I controlled for one day, thinking that he's just felt bad because I took his girlfriend in front of his eyes for ride. But his behavior got worse towards me because other two was his juniors and obeying him like a slave. I controlled for 1 week, then I just busted out and shows him that we're here as a flatmate, so behave accordingly. That makes him more pissed. Now things going behind my back, he started bitching like a Mahal Kiani. From there I started feeling bad, but thinking whenever his girlfriend go things will be okay. But I was wrong. Things went worse and I was struck by his behavior. Hard to believe for anyone, but I was heartbroken over a friendship. For the context, I had 6 love relationships, never been heartbroken. Cause I was upfront and moved out every time. Still, this scenario makes me feel bad that I lose a friend. Basically, I feel betrayed in friendship and feel guilty at the same time. Until lockdown, I used to talk people, feel confident, and want to be social, but after that I just caged myself and started avoiding new friendships, gathering, or go social. Right now, I just behave like an anaclophobic. This affected me so badly that I still don't like to talk anyone or go social. Last year I've done love marriage and was happy, but things again flipped after baby. We don't have much time together, if anyhow escape for our time. And meanwhile, always argue on nonsensical topic. I think as a person I'm devolving and want to control but can't make it happen. I'm totally confused.